After a few months of lackluster PlayStation Now updates, I think for the month of March, Sony is really going all in with their update, and they are adding some highly touted games and some relatively recent releases, all things considered, namely one title, and I think this is going to be the month where a lot of people, at the very least, give the 7-day trial a chance, and the fact that PlayStation Now lets you directly download the PlayStation 4 games, obviously that's going to be a little advantageous for them, and hopefully we see more updates like this going forward, because I do see a lot of people signing up for the games that are being offered in March, in addition to the library that they've already amassed. Also, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated has gotten some PAX East 2020 gameplay in courtesy of Gamatsu. Want to go over that, talk about that game a little bit, because you guys have been memeing on me for how highly I am thinking that game is going to do. More so from a commercial standpoint than anything, but we'll go over that. And also, Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack, a physical edition of the game, has been announced for the PlayStation 4 in the West. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But first up, let's go over the awesome PlayStation Now update in the month of March. I think they are adding some highly touted games, and this is a really great month. Obviously, with these subscription services, you have to keep your expectations in line. I think Microsoft has spoiled some people a little bit, though, adding games like Gears 5, Forza Horizon 4, and their newly released titles. I don't think Sony is going to go that route, because their newly released titles have this value attached to them where they can sell, multiple millions of copies, and obviously they're going to get more revenue that way. However, to compete with Xbox Game Pass and at least showcase that you're in the competition stage of these subscription services, because there are so many, you gotta add some better games than what has been offered on PlayStation Now in the past, and I think they're really doing that in March. Brian Dunn, Senior Marketing Manager over at PlayStation Now, has a post over on the blog post going over everything, and definitely the highlight game is Control. Yes, Control is being added to PS Now. It will only be available until the end of August 31st to be exact, so literally the last day of August, but this gives you a 6-month window to play the game. So yeah, you've got March, April, May, June, July, and August. So yeah, 6 months to play Control, and that I think is enough time for you to download the game and give it a shot. Control is a game that I thought incredibly highly of. I thought the game was fantastic. I thought Remedy did a great job with the game, not only from a narrative standpoint, because Remedy is going to knock it out of the park from that standpoint. However, from a gameplay standpoint, this is without a doubt easily the best gameplay you are going to find in a Remedy game. I liked Alan Wake's gameplay. I liked Quantum Break. However, Control is on another level from having satisfying gameplay. Visually, it's great, and again, the story is relatively compelling as well. There is a sizable amount of DLC released for the game, so unfortunately you don't get that with the PlayStation Now subscription. So that is a little bit of a bummer, and I do expect that ultimately this game will end up with a PlayStation 5 definitive version. It seems like Remedy is teasing that, and I think releasing this game on the PS5, technical handcuffs removed, add in the DLC, release it at a compelling price point, I think it will have a second win, because I do think this game deserves a second win. It was a great game, but unfortunately not a lot of people checked it out. If you bundle in all the DLC and whatnot and price it compelling for the PlayStation 5, I think it could sell rather well. I'm not saying multiple millions of copies, but I think it could do rather well. So Control is being added. Also, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is being added. Yes, experience Lara Croft's defining moment as she becomes the Tomb Raider. In Shadow of Tomb Raider, Lara must master a deadly jungle, overcome terrifying tombs, and persevere through her darkest hour. Now, Shadow of the Tomb Raider I thought was a very strong game from a gameplay standpoint. I think the story in Shadow of the Tomb Raider is rather weak. I think Rise of the Tomb Raider is the best game of this series. Shadow of the Tomb Raider from a gameplay standpoint is rather strong, but again, the story does hold it back a little bit, and one of you guys actually pointed it out in the comment section as an origin story. You should expect a little bit stronger storytelling out of these Tomb Raider games versus any other in the past, but Shadow of the Tomb Raider did falter in that regard a little bit. Still a strong game. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like this is the definitive edition, so you don't get all of the DLC, and there is a ton of DLC for SOTR, so that is a little bit of a bummer, but overall, high quality addition to PlayStation Now, and again, this one will be available until August 31st. Other games added: Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, another one that is a high-quality release. Now, this did release a few years ago, I believe back in 2017, but Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus still goes for a relatively high price point. It, came out and then it plummeted in price. It went down to, $30 after a month on the market. However, since then, it has really held up in price, and you're not really going to find it under the price of, $18. Wolfenstein 2 is really good. I do highly recommend you play Wolfenstein: The New Order before you jump into this. There is a 7-minute recap video, and that'll give you a gist of the Wolfenstein story, but obviously it's worth playing New Order. It's a great game. Old Blood is very good as well, but New Colossus is an excellent game. Gets a little zany towards the end, but hey, it's Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein in essence was always a zany franchise. Has great gameplay, a relatively lengthy game. For a single-player first-person shooter, you know, you don't associate these games with being really long, but Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus campaign, is a pretty lengthy experience. I'm not saying it's 100 hours or anything like that, but a solid 15 hours of gameplay is something that I'll definitely be all over, and it is going to be available to download through PlayStation Now in the month of March. Other games added that I do want to go through quickly: Dead or Alive 5 Last Round, that's a decent addition. NASCAR Heat 3, you've got Knights of Azure and Knights of Azure 2. Those games aren't anything to write home about, but if you're into Japanese games, maybe that's something to check out. Romance of the Three Kingdoms 13, not a bad addition there. Here's some really great additions. You got Toukiden Kiwami as well as Toukiden 2. Those are some great additions if you're into that monster hunting style of experience. Toukiden is definitely going to be right up your alley. Warriors All-Stars is being added, and that is rounding up the lineup. They're also always promoting PUBG being available on PlayStation Now, and I guess they should be. That is a very notable game, and it's always available through PlayStation Now, so that is a significant addition or inclusion because they've had that for a little while now. But still, PlayStation Now getting a significant update in the month of March. We need more updates like this, high-quality additions, because PlayStation Now, in my opinion, they've been adding a lot of games that, yeah, you're throwing in the PS4 exclusives, but a lot of people have the Uncharteds of the world, a lot of people have the Bloodborns of the world. Let's get some games that are high quality like Control, but a lot of people didn't check it out, and games like this I think can sell people on PS Now. Wolfenstein 2 can as well, and I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider is a great addition as well. And then you round it out with Toukiden and Toukiden 2 and all those other additions. Man, March is a really great month, and I think it is going to be a rather advantageous time to take advantage of that 7-day free trial if you have yet to use that. Alright, moving on from that, I do want to note that Gamatsu has got around 6 minutes and 50 seconds of SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom gameplay. Check that out because this game looks awesome. Obviously a ground-up remake of SpongeBob's Battle for the Bikini Bottom that released on like the PlayStation 2. A lot of you guys have been memeing on me for talking so highly about this game. Look, I'm really nostalgic with SpongeBob. If you grew up around the same time as me, you probably feel the same way in the early 2000s if that's where you spent your formative years and your, you know, teenage years, your early teenage years. You probably think highly of SpongeBob and you look back at it as this cult classic, and SpongeBob getting a quality video game, that's something I'm gonna be all over. Battle for Bikini Bottom was also a quality game. Rehydrated is making it even better. You can play as SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, and use their unique set of skills, thwart Plankton's evil plan to rule Bikini Bottom with his army of wacky robots. Meet countless characters from the beloved series. If you're a fan of the series, it's gonna be right up your alley. And then the remake is adding some new features. It's a faithful remake of one of the best games ever. However, you've also got the high-end visuals, modern resolutions, and carefully polished gameplay. On top of that, you've got a brand new Horde mode multiplayer for up to 2 players, online and offline, restored content that was cut from the original game, like the Robo-Squidward boss fight, and much more. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom is scheduled for release sometime in 2020, and I'm excited for the game, man. I'm not saying that it's going to sell north of 10 million copies, but it's one of those games that I think by the time it gets closer to release, I really believe a lot of you guys are going to be surprised with how well this game sells, because I think a lot of people are going to be streaming it. I think it's going to have a decent amount of buzz around the gaming community, and then you wrap it all up with that nostalgia that so many people have towards SpongeBob. I think this game is going to be one of the surprising hits of the year, and I don't think it should be that surprising. However, just reading from my comments section, it seems like a lot of you guys do think I'm overshooting. Am I saying it's going to be Game of the Year? No. Am I saying it's going to sell as well as The Last of Us Part 2? No. But this is a remake at the end of the day. It's going to be priced from a budget standpoint, and I do think a lot of people are going to check it out, depending on when it's released. Now, if it's released in the fall and everybody's talking about the PlayStation 5, alright, maybe it might struggle then, but I think if it comes out, you know, within the first 8 months of the year, I do think it's going to do rather well. So check out Gamatsu's gameplay of that. You'll definitely be happy if you are looking forward to the game. And lastly, I do want to note Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack for PlayStation 4. The physical edition of that game is coming to North America on April 28th, and it will cost $39.99 with equivalent pricing in Europe. Now, I actually believe this same pack was released on the Nintendo Switch, but it was $49.99. Might be wrong about that, but hey, $39.99 I think is a pretty good price point. If you're into the Mega Man style of experiences, you know what to get, what you're getting out of Azure Striker Gunvolt. They're really good, and this one offers a lot of new features, including an exhilarating 60 frames per second upgrade, striking high-resolution event graphics, and an exclusive new vocal track, injecting these supercharged side-scrollers with a renewed vitality. In the Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack, you'll experience the games in seamless 60 FPS, enjoy all of the downloadable content from the original versions, fighting through extra stages, bosses, and bonus modes, all while rocking out to new songs, jam along to over 20 pop vocal tracks, including including a new track made exclusively for the PlayStation 4 release, so that's a great addition, and get lost in the story with high-resolution event graphics and in-game text so the characters look better than ever, and journey through the levels and peruse menus on the new intuitive screen layout. It's kind of surprising how we're getting all of these Mega Man style of games. For a long time, these were kind of absent on PlayStation platforms, but you got the Mega Man Zero collection, you got Mega Man 11, you got Azure Striker Gunvolt, you got 30XX coming out, and you got all of these other action platformers. It's an exciting time to be a fan of these styles of games, and Mega Man is something that I played a lot of back in the day on the PlayStation 1, so obviously I'm all over games like Mega Man Zero Collection, Azure Striker Gunvolt. Might not be up everyone's alley, they've got an old school look to them, however, definitely up mine, and I can't wait to check this one out as well on April 28th. So that's gonna conclude this video. Again, PlayStation Now gets an awesome update with great games being added in Control, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Wolfenstein 2, Takaiden, and Takaiden 2, so some great stuff being added in the month of March. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated PAX East 2020 gameplay coming courtesy of Gamatsu. Check that out, that looks great, and the game itself I think is going to do rather well when it comes out in 2020. And Azure Striker Gunvolt Striker Pack for the PlayStation 4, a physical edition, is coming for the West. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.